Ben Roethlisberger went on record and apologized to Antonio Brown. But we're going to let Wes give us a brief rundown of what transpired all the way up until this point.
All right. Well, I mean, everybody who knows me knows I'm a big Steelers fan.
Trash.
And, yeah, 6. Everybody knows I'm a big Steelers fan. And seeing this type of stuff go on, man, I've been watching it for years. Like, going all the way back to Plaxico Burress not being happy. Santonio Holmes not being happy. Like, the organization is run a certain way. And you can't really, people don't really see that from the outside. All they see is Antonio Brown being selfish or Le'Veon Bell being selfish. But these guys, in actuality, are just looking out for themselves, man.
Right.
And that whole incident actually stemmed from a Denver Broncos game last year. And the Broncos beat the Steelers 24-17. Now, Big Ben, he just apologized for it. What is it? 6 months later,
Right.
But
my bad.
He really, he's the one that ruined the game, and him and Antonio Brown's relationship, in my opinion. So what happened was, with I think a minute or something left, the Steelers are on the goal line, and they opted to throw the ball, right?
Right.
Like they do, because he threw the ball 50-something times that game. 56, I believe.
So would you say that was real quick to interrupt? I don't want to take away from your story, but would you say that's him throwing the ball 50 times that game? Was that play calling or that was just Ben Roethlisberger?
That was play calling, bro, because James Conner didn't have a terrible rushing game. He had 13 rushes for 53 yards. Mm-hmm. What was he averaging? Over 4.5 yards a carry, I think.
Right.
He also had 4 receptions and 42 yards. Conner wasn't having a bad game. Why you would go away from the game plan, I don't know. But I'll get to that in a second.
All right.
So a minute and 50-something seconds left. Whatever. They decide to throw. Big Ben tries to hit Antonio Brown on a slant, and the freaking D lineman catches it in the touchdown for a touchback.
Right.
And so Ben, he actually goes on the radio that next week and he says Antonio Brown has got to run a better route. A D tackle caught the ball, bro. You telling this man you got to run a better route. So, okay, now a couple months later, after the season's over and everything, after Juju Smith won team MVP, right? Antonio Brown really is letting them have it on the HBO special, the LeBron James special. What was it? The shop? They were in the barbershop?
Right.
Yeah, Antonio Brown was like, bruh, how you gonna call me out like that? And it wasn't even my fault. That's all he was really saying. But Antonio Brown, he really looking like a diva too, with all this extra stuff. Even after Ben, said his apologies and whatnot, AB's like, he tweets two-face.
Well, you don't think Antonio Brown, some of that stuff was warranted by some of his actions?
It's a way to be professional about that. It's a way to be professional about that also.
Right.
Like Ben just came out to apologize, 6-7 months later. Antonio Brown could have been like, it is what it is. He didn't have to call a man two-face or whatever.
Right.
But what really triggered that whole situation was them giving Juju Smith the MVP. Even if you look into that Denver game, Antonio Brown, his stat line was 9 catches, 67 yards, 13 targets. Do you know what Juju Smith's was?
No, I don't.
13 catches, 189 yards, 17 targets in a touchdown. you
Damn.
could kind of you could kind of see where Antonio Brown little jealous streak kind of come in.
Right.
And
So you saying so you feel that Antonio Brown was or is jealous of Juju Smith-Schuster's success?
I can kind of see that. I can definitely
Or
kinda see that. But it's more. I think it's more so Juju just being a player he is, and Big Ben,
because I don't
man.
know. I don't know that would be a good idea because Juju is like a little kid out there, man. Like he don't seem like he really be trying to get involved in that stuff. It's just like, all right, well,
He don't.
like
He just out there being the best player he could be, bro.
mhm.
Antonio Brown looking at the money, he looking at the fame, he pulling up the camp in helicopters and stuff. It's just
I
he done
forgot about that.
he done turned into a whole nother animal. He on the cover of Madden. He wants the smoke. He wants the attention.
Mhm.
I
And
just
he's
wanted to chime in real quick because Antonio Brown, he just looks like a jealous female to be or social media. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these things that he be coming out and he be saying, they just be uncalled for. Like, yo, you got traded. Like, let it
Right.
go. Like, why are you still tripping about it? It's over.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, AB is that dude, man, but he could have handled
Right.
all that stuff better. And let me tell you, Big Ben, he ain't totally innocent either. The
No,
thing is,
I'm not gonna say that Big Ben is innocent. I have my beef with Big Ben over quite a few things over the past decade or so. But but with that being said, still at the end of the
well,
day, Antonio Brown, you got traded. Big Ben,
Mhm.
regardless if it was fake or not, of the apology that he went on record and said, he still apologized. He still was a
Right.
man about it and came out and apologized for it. So why are we poking the bear on this still? It's over.
you know why you
We
poking
should
the
have
bear
left it
on
at
it?
that.
Not really. You know why you poking the bear? Because it kind of exposed Big Ben, which he didn't want to be exposed at that time, as his statements right after that game says, quote unquote, from ESPN.com, Associated Press. This guy, after he throws that pick, he goes, "Of all interceptions I've thrown, it's one of the most fluky I've been associated with." That's what he said.
That's Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay, listen, you're gonna say that, but then you're gonna say, during the week, well, you know what? Maybe AB could have ran a better route, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 7 months down the line, you're gonna say I took some heat, deservedly so. I messed up in the comments toward him. I genuinely feel bad, and yeah, maybe I did go too far after the Denver game. Like, no, bro, it's too late. You've been exposed. AB's not having it no more. He
Mm-hmm.
reached his boiling point with that. That's why Antonio Brown says that kind of showed y'all that's the type of guy he is. He feels like he's the owner. He threw the shit to the lineman. That's what he said on the shop. It was kind of funny. Ain't gonna lie.
I remember that clip. I wish we could
Yeah,
play that clip. I hope we can get that clip and play it back during the
yeah,
podcast.
we
DeVore, you think you
definitely,
can pull it up?
I'll see what I can do.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, that was y'all two grown men in NFL, bro. Just accountability. That's what life is about, man. Accountability. You telling me you
Right.
can't just say I messed up that throw,
Right.
Right.
and then the other guy got to say, yeah, you two faced it and whatnot. Like, y'all don't have to go back and forth like kids, bro. Y'all get paid millions of dollars to do this.
So, question, really quick. I'm gonna interject real quick because I want to see where your head is on this one. As a Steelers fan, remove yourself as a Steelers fan right now.
I
All
always
right.
do.
Do you envision after all the things, all the pieces have been taken away, and you got some pretty good players that's been removed from y'all team, some impact players. I mean, we talking about guys that on other teams would be considered, irreplaceable in most cases. What is your outlook on the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of this upcoming season? How do you see that going? Because I mean, I think they're going to win a division by default because I feel like they're still the best team in that division.
Bengals.
But I feel like that division.
Bengals.
The Bengals ain't doing it.
No, I can't believe you just said the Bengals.
I don't know. Listen, you see what I got to deal with?
Hey, somebody take his cup away.
Hey, I'm the only one that speaks with reason in here, huh? By the way, listeners, I know the majority are Miami Dolphins fans right now. They are both Miami Dolphins haters. So if y'all fell in love with Wes so far, we're about like 20-something minutes in here. Fall out of love with him because he ain't a Miami Dolphins fan.
I ain't a hater, man.
He a hater. He a hater. Before we went live, he said a lot of things. I ain't even going to repeat what he said, but he said a lot of things.
Listen, it's cool, bro. Listen, I root for the Dolphins. I actually root for the Dolphins if they playing anybody except for the Steelers, especially the Patriots.
We're not even gonna go there.
He not on the Banks of America level as far as hate, but he like right there. It's like real close. He's like a little margin below him. He almost there though. But go ahead.
Anyway, I'm gonna say one last thing on this Big Ben AB thing. Y'all got to pay attention to the way that organization is run. They always draft your replacement just in case you act up.
Like absolutely.
Like I said before. Going back to Plaxico Burress, Santonio Holmes, they'll even do it with a guy like Jonathan Dwyer, or they'll try anyway. Before they give you big money, that's just the way that organization is run. Similar to the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
One thing
they don't care who you are.
One thing that I will say is I love the way the Pittsburgh Steelers develop wide receivers. So before we switch over to topics, I do have one question for you though. Who do you think will have a more productive season for 2019? Juju Smith-Schuster or Antonio Brown?
Oh man, that is a tough one, but not too tough. You got to go with Juju.
What?
Juju's in the system. Listen to me. Juju's in the system that he knows already. Everybody knows what they got to work with. Everybody knows Antonio Brown is not the focus anymore.
But with that being said, wouldn't that mean that Juju is going to demand all the attention instead of single coverage every single time?
Right. That's why, that's what I'm saying.
If you do that, you're going to get killed by Vance McDonald and Connor.
Who is that? You said Vance McDonald. Who is that guy?
Yeah, super stiff arm guy. You ever see when he played the Dolphins? I guarantee you stiff arm a Dolphin guy through the turf. Watch.
I know who Vance McDonald. Vance McDonald came from the 49ers. He's a pretty good tight end. He's decent.
I know who Vance McDonald is. I know he can't catch. I know that.
Okay, what? I know he can stiff arm though.
Yeah, he can stiff arm, but he got to get the ball in his hands first to catch it.